All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Lunch and Learn. We thank Chief for being here again. Thank you, thank you. We will be introducing our speaker shortly. Just a couple of announcements. We want to thank OLV students for being here and helping us. Thanks again. We do have one slot for Monday. If anyone still needs to get their taxes done, there was a cancellation, so we do have one opening available for an appointment. So come see me if you need to get your taxes done. That's going to happen on Monday, April 8th. Also, those folks that signed up for the pottery class, that begins on Monday as well, next week. There's also on the board sign-up sheets for the Sheriff's Picnic. That's coming up in June. That is a drive-through event. Unfortunately, we're not going to be participating. We're not going to have transportation for that, but if you're able to get there, sign up, and it's just a drive-through. They'll give you lunch. They'll give you all different freebies that they have. We went years ago when they used to stay there and had a picnic, and they had the big bingo games, and that was fun, but they've changed it a little bit since COVID. That's all I got. Gail, is there anything else that we had to report on? No. Okay. All right, let's do a moment of silence before lunch. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and start our program today. My name is Mark Mommy. I'm the Chief of Police here. Welcome to another Lunch and Learn. Thank you all for coming. And I know I say this every month, that today we have the best speaker for you, even better than last month's speaker. Now, if you remember, last month we brought the dog. We brought the comfort dog. This month we have Dawna Salkiewicz, who is from Tri-Valley Caregiver Program, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about the services that Tri-Valley offers. And but before we start, how many of you felt the tremor today?
Not me.
I did.
You did.
Did you?
I didn't. No. I found out on the news. Apparently, according to the news, it struck New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and even a little bit of Massachusetts. I didn't feel it.
I didn't feel
And
it.
But
4.8.
4.8, yeah, on the Richter scale. So I never felt it, but those of you who are sensitive, you must be sensitive. So I'm going to turn it over now to Dawna, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her program.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Dawna from Tri-Valley. Can everybody hear me? Yes? All right, so I'm here today to bring some information to you about self-care, the power of self-care. And so I have some slides for you, and then after we go through the slides, I'll share a little bit about our program at Tri-Valley and how the Caregiver Program may be able to help support you as a caregiver taking care of a care recipient. And the care recipient can be anyone. It could be a spouse, it could be a relative, it could be someone with a disability, but anybody. So I have some information for you after that you can come up and take from the table. And I'll stay after a little bit if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer. So thank you for your patience today, and here we go. So the power of self-care. So we're going to talk about the myths around self-care. We'll talk about what self-care is, why self-care is necessary, and how to implement self-care. Before we start though, does anyone have a self-care plan for themselves? Anybody? Yes, I see a couple hands going up. Very good. Yes, self-care plans are really important, especially if you're helping to take care of another person. It helps to prevent burnout and stress and overwhelm. So if you're in that position right now, you're caring for another person, you want to tune into this information. So caring for others or loved ones is a big task, especially as people age. The tools and strategies that you're about to learn can be fun and creative and inspiring. When you establish and honor a new commitment with yourself, you'll be able to begin to feel more self-empowered. When you feel empowered, you can shift your energy and feel better. So here's some myths around self-care. Some of them you may have experienced before, but there are some myths around self-care. So the myth number one is that self-care is selfish. Self-care is selfish. That's a myth. Myth number two, the effects of self-care are only temporary. That's another myth. Myth number three, self-care is just for women. Not true. And myth four, self-care takes too much time. Self-care costs too much, and self-care is the same for everyone. All of those are myths. So self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So here we go. So self-care is an essential survival skill. Self-care refers to activities and practices that you can engage in on a regular basis to help reduce stress, maintain and enhance short and long-term health and well-being. Self-care is necessary for effectiveness and success in honoring your professional and personal commitments. So self-care is essential for your health and wellness. For your health and wellness. So why is self-care necessary? Well, self-care, when we practice self-care daily, a little bit every day, it can help us manage stress and overwhelm a lot better. Awareness in how we're feeling, we tune in to how we're feeling. We create healthy boundaries when we just cannot seem to come up with enough energy to take care of another thing. We have healthy boundaries and say, we may not be able to do this right now, but it might be another time. And then you always want to check in, listen to your body and how your body's feeling. You can practice guided imagery or meditation that will help manage stress and emotional regulation. So all of those will help us manage stress. And then decrease illness. So self-care helps us decrease illness. We know that when we get stressed and overwhelmed, it can actually deplete our nervous system and deplete our immune system, and it takes longer for us to recover. So it keeps your immune system functioning well, balanced, and sleeping well. All of those things help us decrease illness. And it also, self-care helps to increase our energy level so we're not depleted by the end of the day. It helps to replenish our body, our mind, and our spirit. And then empowerment. It actually helps us with self-empowerment when we are caring for ourselves. It fosters self-efficacy, honors our own needs, and when we communicate our needs to other people. And it also increases, and this is my favorite one, it helps to increase joy. So when we practice self-care, it can help us increase our level of joy. So as I was doing my research, I found there are 6 areas of self-care. And the first one is physical, then emotional, then personal, professional, psychological, and then spiritual. Some examples. I put some examples of self-care in each of these categories to help it make sense. So in the physical category, it includes exercising, stretching, yoga, maybe going to the gym, practicing some breath work, sleeping 8 hours, getting enough rest, Healthy eating, like your meal you're having right now. Unplugging from electronics and being outside in nature. Those are all grounding techniques that help us feel better. We always feel better when we're outside in the fresh air. Not like yesterday, but maybe like today. So that's our physical. It affects our physical bodies. The next one is emotional. We check in with how we're feeling. We want to check in with your emotions, because your emotions get stored in your body. And sometimes how we know we're stressed or overwhelmed when we're caring for other people is we feel muscle tension in our shoulders and neck, maybe even our back. And so we want to acknowledge how we're feeling. And this process, then, by asking if there's anything that you can do to change the situation or not. And if not, then maybe we need to consider to let go of that so it's not so overwhelming. Many times caregivers are afraid or don't want to ask for help, but I can assure you that when you ask for help and get that support, everything changes. Things get better. Sometimes we need to cry to release these emotions. Or cuddle a pet. How many of us have a cat or a dog? Yes. Don't they always make us feel better? Yeah. I have a dog too. He's 1 year old, and he's very fresh. His name is Willis, and he's a golden lab, and he gets into everything. He's just a little devil, like Dennis the Menace. All right, the next category is psychological. Sometimes we need to reach out and seek a therapist or a counselor to help us manage strong emotions.
Yes, thank you.
Sometimes journaling, writing things down in a journal helps us get it out of our mind so it's not looping. And then do a little bit of self-reflecting to see how we're doing. Active relaxation, asking for help, do something creative. Whenever we're tapping into our creativity, that always boosts our feelings of feeling good, feeling better. It can also help increase our level of joy when we're tapping into our creativity. So baking, drawing, coloring, doing something creative, maybe gardening. How many of us like to garden? How many of us have a garden? Yes. Growing some flowers. Okay, and the last one in the psychological category is creating healthy boundaries. Realizing that we can't and shouldn't commit to everything. So we want to be aware of the things that we want to commit to so that we don't overcommit and cause more stress and overwhelm. Again, it all leads back to reaching out when you need help as a caregiver. Okay, spiritual self-care. It's spending time in nature, meditation, praying, practicing yoga, qigong, tai chi. We can actually choose joy. We can actually choose to be joyful whenever we want, and it's free. Like right now, coming around with this delicious looking cake is making me feel joyful, even though I can't have any right now. And then focusing on joy memories. We all have joy memories. And sometimes when we reflect back to those memories of joyful times can actually help us feel better. So tapping into joy memories. Go get inspired and or volunteer. We have some volunteers here in the building, and I'm sure that they feel good when they're giving of themselves. Always feels good when you're volunteering. And then personal. Creating a vision board, getting out of debt, establishing goals. Everyone should have goals. What are your goals? Think about what type of goal do you want to set for yourself. And then spending time with loved ones, making a plan, seeing your loved ones as often as possible. And then learn who you are. You might be a different person now than you were 10 years ago. So who are you now? Go and investigate. Maybe you like different things. Maybe you like to paint and maybe you've never painted before and now you like it. So it's something new for you. Maybe take a cooking class or invite someone over to cook for. and or find a life coach, somebody that can help you sort out what's going on with you and your emotions. And then the last one, professional. So if you're still working, you want to have good boundaries, take a vacation, take a respite break. I'm sure most of you know what respite means, but for some of you who don't know what it means just taking a break from life things. So taking a break is a good thing because you can go recharge your batteries and not always feel depleted. You're not always on the clock. Okay, even if you're taking care of someone, you can take time out. Take a lunch break, go for walks. And here we have just a recap. It's called the self-care wheel, and it just recaps all the areas that we just talked about. So your physical health, your psychological health, emotional health, spiritual health, personal health, and your professional health. So in all of those areas, we want to make sure that we have a self-care plan. And it's also important to incorporate fun. Remember way back when, maybe a while back, we used to have fun? How many of us still have fun? Come on, everyone, raise your hands. Raise your hands. So having fun is a really good idea because it can help you, again, feel better in all of those areas we just talked about. So anything that you love to do can be fun. So think about this. What would be fun for you? Anybody? What would be fun for you? Vacation? Get your health back? You want to hear that? Yes, so there are things that you can do, steps that you can take to help you have more fun.
Living through an earthquake.
Living through an earthquake, yes. We all lived through an earthquake today.
She was dancing.
So ways to incorporate or add more fun to our lives. Life is too short to be so serious, my friends. Life is too short. So lighten up and find a healthy way to have fun. How about these ideas? They look like they're having fun.
So funny.
There's more ways to have fun.
From bed to bed.
And if you physically can't get up and jump on the bed, which I don't recommend right now, but just think about getting up on a bed and jumping can actually promote joy feelings in your body. Pretending that you're doing it. Pretend in your mind that you're jumping on the bed. Or pretend that you're going down the ski slope. Or skating. Or anything that promotes fun. Maybe playing with your grandchildren. So the benefits, I loved researching this. So the benefits of fun and play. So the benefits are, it helps to create brain development. It helps to ward off cognitive impairments. It helps to stimulate new brain cells in your body. It helps to strengthen existing and build new neural pathways in your brain. So it actually helps your brain. It boosts social skills when you're having fun. It aids in decision making. It prepares the brain for learning. We can store memories and new knowledge. It lifts your mood and a sense of well-being with the release of endorphins, which are feel-good hormones in your body, in your brain. They can prevent health problems like heart disease and Alzheimer's. Bolsters your immune system. Yes, having fun and play helps to boost your immune system. Attracts the opposite sex. Keeps things fresh in a relationship. Prepares the mind for creativity and problem solving. Strengthens and bonds parent and child relationships. Maintain vitality, physical health, long-term energy. And gives clues to where you can find fulfillment in your life. So here I put in a couple of suggestions on how and where to find more fun. So how many of us have access to internet? Okay, most of us in this room. I know sometimes it's not fun sitting in front of the TV all day, but what if you're learning something? What if we turned on TED Talks? Are you familiar with TED Talks? TED Talks is a platform where you can go and learn something new. And it's only about 17 to 20 minutes long. So it's short little chunks of learning. So you can go on to TED Talks and you can Google or go on and Google a subject that you want to learn about and go on there and listen to someone talking about it. It's really informative. So I would highly recommend checking out TED Talks for fun.
No TikToks.
No TikToks. And then books. I actually wrote a book, and it's actually on Amazon. And it's called Seconds to Joy. So if you're looking for more ways to increase your level of joy, you can find a book to read. You can also get a book on what do they call it, on Audible, where you can listen to the tape or listen to the book being read to you. I have that in the car when I'm driving from point A to point B. And I love to read. So those are all fun ways to incorporate more fun in your life. And there's a couple of different books that I listed here. Other people on TED Talks that I found interesting, they're up here on the screen. And then different books that you can read to help incorporate more joy. Okay, so we want to start developing a playful mindset. So the more you play, the healthier you will remain. So with that, playing with grandchildren or babies, moving your body for circulation, using your imagination. It helps with emotional regulation. And it helps to improve social skills and builds friendships. Physical games that you can play, cards, pickleball, anything, any kind of game that you can play. And then celebrate, having parties, rituals. How many of us have rituals or parties? Holidays, all those things. You know that when you all get together, it just feels good to have everybody that you know, people that you love in the same room. So that helps to build a playful mindset. And then storytelling. So this is interesting. My oldest daughter was with my father, and so my dad decided he wanted to have her capture his memoir. So now he's storytelling her, and she's writing everything down, and she's going to create a book of all the things that he's gone through as a young adult into his aging self, and because he wants her to know him on a deeper level, and I thought that was a great idea. So that's what she's doing. She's working on a project, creating a book based on his story. And so we're winding down here. So I put up here to create an action plan, because learning something new is no good unless you do something with the information. So many times I offer to people to create an action plan, pick one thing this week between now and next Friday, something that you're going to do that will be healthy for you around the self-care platform. It can be anything that you choose. And then you can ask yourself these questions. Is it achievable? Be really specific. Answer the following questions. What specific action will you take? So what will you do? How much time will you spend on this? When will you do it? How often will you do it? And just by doing that will help build what they call self-efficacy. It actually feels good to do it. And then on a scale from 0 to 10, you want to rate your confidence level in doing it. How confident are you in completing the action plan that you just wrote for yourself? So it also helps to hold yourself accountable. Okay, so before we end, do you have any questions about self-care or anything that we talked about just now?
you get involved in it?
You create your own plan. You create your own plan, you connect with people, you just have to do a little deep dive and find out what it is, what kind of things that do you like, what kind of things make you feel happy, what kind of things bring you joy. And then you do more of those things. And it actually does, scientifically proven, that it does boost your immune system to ward off things so that you stay healthier. So before we end, I do have a few other things up here on the table. So if you are a caregiver, currently a caregiver taking care of a person, Tri-Valley has a grant program. And so we have some grant funding that helps to support the caregiver. And the ways that we help the caregiver are, we help reimburse you for payments. So if you're interested in taking respite, taking a break, and you don't have anyone to come over and stay with your person that you're caring for, you can hire somebody that you know, or go through one of the vendors, hire the person to come in and stay with your person while you take a break, and then pay them, and then submit a form to me, and then we pay you back. So we have a respite grant that each person, right now, it may run out, but right now we have a grant for $500. And then we have another traditional grant for another $590. So we have two different grants that we can use. So if you're in need of taking a break, taking time out, maybe you're taking a short vacation and you need someone to come and stay with your person, come up here and talk to me, and we'll get you set up. Some of the other ways that the grant can be used are if there are medical equipment not covered by insurance, we might be able to help reimburse you for those items that you need for your person.
Wow.
Does anyone have any questions about that?
Like what are those medicals?
Okay, some of the medical equipments could be traveling wheelchair, walkers, commodes, bath bars, things for the shower, medical equipment type of things. Sometimes incontinence supplies, so if anyone's in need of that. What you can do is reach out to me. I have information right here on this table. You can help yourself to any of this information. There is my contact information on this little card right here. And then one last thing, we have a caregiver program coming up. It is called Powerful Tools for Caregivers. And this class will be happening at the Blackstone Senior Center starting April 17th. So if you are currently a caregiver taking care of a care recipient, and you'd like to learn more about how to take care of yourself as you're caring for someone else, you can see me, and we can also sign you up. It's a 6-week class. It starts April 17th, starts at 10 in the morning to 12:30, and we also would be able to supply respite funding if you needed that, so you could come while your care recipient is at home. And I think that is it. So thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you, Dawna. I know that when you talked about fun, there are a couple of the folks here claim to be line dancers. So we encourage you all to join the line dancers. Thank you all for coming today. We appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoyed the program.
Okay, move you along.